Hari Om. Namaste to all. Prostrating at the lotus feet of Brahmanishta Shrotriya Sadguru Swami Virajeshwara Saraswati and the entire Guru Parampara on behalf of all of us. Today's discourse on Viveka Chudamani will continue. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Mahasaraswatyai Namaha. Sadashiva Samarambham Shri Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Parampara. Shruti Smruti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kruto Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranadosmiham Om Namo Bhagavate Virajeshwaraya Hari Om. Last time, the shloka number here in this book, which I am following, we had stopped at 329. Shloka number 329, it was stopped. In fact, these series of verses, what Acharya is rolling out to the Mumukshu, to the Uttamadhikari disciple, is mainly emphasizing repeatedly, again and again, how pramada is the greatest enemy, greatest obstacle in the path of realization, in the path of liberation, especially for a sadhaka, a spiritual aspect. So, in so many verses, he has condemned this nature of pramada. Pramada, as it was told earlier, repeatedly. In Vedantic terms, pramada means the false identification, or what we call as wrong identification, or disconnecting from the reality itself. Disconnecting from reality means forgetting our true nature, real nature. The true nature is, I am not this anatma swarupa anymore. I am not this collective bunch of this physical body, the antakarana part, which comprises mind, intellect, buddhi, ego or ahankara or even chitta. I am not at all these things. I am purely atma swarupa. So forgetting that reality from eons of so many previous births, one birth after another birth, our ego has caught up with Sharira Abhimana. From the birth to death, I confine myself that I am this body with a name, with a status. So the basic pramada, negligence, inadvertence, that is forgetting my real reality. So always confining myself to this external body-mind complex, which is visible, which is experienceable. And my mind and the buddhi, intellect and everything, all the five senses, always they are projected outside, into the outside world, experiencing all types of feelings, all types of experiences, what is called Vishaya Sukha. So the mind is always outward, always confining itself under the spell of the Maya, that this body is myself. I am this body. So the outward projection, we are all dealing with the world, with thinking that it is real, I am real, the other person is real. the diversity is there, duality is there. I am different from you and you are different from me. All these types of total dualistic feelings, they have masked the reality of really who I am. Totally disconnected myself with the real self, capital S. So that is pramada. So Acharya is hammering, continuing, and with all various examples, he is doling out and explaining to the disciple, look, this false notion, false identification, this negligence, slipping away from the reality should not happen in the spiritual field. In the spiritual field, in the path of sadhana, if you want to be liberated, always be aware of the pramada. Always be aware of this. Slipping away from the reality. The reality is you are not the body-mind complex. The reality is you are that absolute Satchit Ananda Swarupa always. And there is no difference between you in reality with that absolute Parabrahma Vastu. You are that only. Tattvamasi. This is the point Acharya is hammering throughout Viveka Chudamani. So we had stopped at the last 329 shloka, where ultimately Acharya says that if you see the duality, always that leads to fear. As was told in Prudharanic Upanishad also, it was explained last week. Dutiyatvai bhayam bhavati. Once you see the duality, means what? Once you think that you are a different entity, this body-mind complex, you are an individual complex. You are different from the other entity, other living organism, or even non-living organism. Everything is different from each other. So that is duality. So believing unreal, mithya, unreal, drushya prapancha, this world as real. So that is pramada. That is pramada. So when you see the duality, when you see the Dvaita Bhava everywhere, that leads to fear. The fear, innate fear, the fear of so many things. So we had stopped at that. Now we commence with the 330 verse number. Same thing, Acharya continues. Shruti smruti nyaya shatair nishidhe drushye Yasvatmamatim karoti upaiti dukkho paridukka jatam nishiddha kartasa malim lucho yatha. Shruti smruti nyaya shatair nishidhe drushyetra yasvatmamatim karoti upaiti dukkho paridukka jatam nishiddha karta malim lucho yatha. Malim luchaha yatha. Nishiddha karta malim luchaha yatha. ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಒಂದು ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ? ಮಾಡಬಾರದನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ನಿಷಿದ್ಧವಾದ ಕೆಲಸಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಕುಕರ್ಮಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಒಬ್ಬ ಕಳ್ಳ, ಮಲಿಂಬ್ಲುಚ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಳ್ಳ, ಒಬ್ಬ ಕಳ್ಳ ಪದೇ 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 ದುಃಖದ ಮೇಲೆ ದುಃಖವನ್ನು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಹೊಂದುತ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ, ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಮಾಡಬಾರದು ಕೆಲಸ, ಕಳ್ಳತನ ಜೊತೆಗೆ, ಆ ಕಳ್ಳತನದ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಅಪವಾದ ಭಯ, ಜನಗಳಿಂದ ರಕ್ಷಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಭಯ, ಹೀಗೆ ದುಃಖದ ಮೇಲೆ ದುಃಖ, ಇವತ್ತಲ್ಲ ನಾಳೆ ನಾನು ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಕೊಳ್ತೇನೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಯ. ಹೀಗೆ ಒಬ್ಬ ಕಳ್ಳ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ದುಃಖದ ಮೇಲೆ ದುಃಖ ಹೊಂದ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ, ಮಾಡಬಾರದು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ, ಕಳ್ಳತನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಎಂದಿಗೂ ಆತನ ಮನಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಸಮಾಧಾನ ಇರಲ್ವೋ, ಹಾಗೆ ಶ್ರುತಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಉಪನಿಷತ್ತುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಮೃತಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆಯಂತಹ ಸ್ಮೃತಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತು ನಾನಾ ರೀತಿಯ ಯುಕ್ತಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ವಿಧವಾದ ಮಂತ್ರಗಳ ಸಹಾಯದಿಂದ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ರೀತಿಯಿಂದ ನಿಷೇಧ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಈ ದೃಶ್ಯ ಪ್ರಪಂಚ ಇದು ಸತ್ಯ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಮಿಥ್ಯಾ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೂ ಸಹ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರು ತನ್ನ ಬುದ್ಧಿಯನ್ನು ಇಡ್ತಾನೋ ಅವನು ಪದೇ ಪದೇ ಕಳ್ಳನ ಹಾಗೆ ದುಃಖದ ಮೇಲೆ ದುಃಖವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತ. So in here Acharya is taking example of a thief, Malimlusha, thief, who does all illegal things and he steals by robbing others, and because of that every time he always ends up in misery upon misery. Upaiti dukkho paridukha jatam nishiddha karta sa malimlusho yatha. Malimlusha means thief. The way the thief always ends up in misery. Look, my dear disciple, in spite of the pramanas like Shrutis, Upanishads, Smritis like Bhagavad Gita, and Yuktis, hundreds, in spite of the repeated telling that this Drushya Prapancha, this outward world, this sensuous world, this world which is being experienced is totally unreal, it is mithya. With all that, still if anyone believes that this Drushya Prapancha is real, Drushyetraya swatmamatim karoti. Atra drushye swatmamatim karoti. If anyone believes that this world is real, I am real, he is real, so he observes the diversity to be real. Then what happened? In spite of being told by Shrutis, Upanishads, he ultimately undergoes misery upon misery, just like a thief. Misery upon misery. So what is to be done then? Acharya gives the Upadesha. Next shloka. Satyabhisandhanarato vimukto mahatvamatmiyam upaiti nityam mityabhisandhanaratah tunashyet drushtam tadetat achorachorayoho. Satyabhisandhanarato vimukto mahatvamatmiyam upaiti nityam mityabhisandhanaratah tunashyet drushtam tadetat achorachorayoho. ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರಲ್ಲಿ? ಸತ್ಯವನ್ನ ಅರಸ್ತಾ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ, ಸತ್ಯಾನುಸಂಧಾನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹವನು, ನಿಜ ಸತ್ಯವನ್ನ ಹುಡುಕ್ತಾ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥವನು, ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರದ ಕಡೆ ಗಮನ ಇಟ್ಟಿರುವವನು, ಉನ್ನತಿಯನ್ನ ಇವತ್ತಲ ನಾಳೆ ಖಂಡಿತವಾಗಿ ಶಾಶ್ವತವಾದ ಆ ಮಹಿಮೆಯನ್ನ ಅನುಭವವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದುತ್ತಾನೆ. ಆದರೆ ಮಿಥ್ಯಾಭಿಸಂಧಾನರತಃ ಬಟ್ ಆದರೆ ಯಾರು ಮಿಥ್ಯಾಭಿಸಂಧಾನರತರಾಗಿರ್ತಾರೋ ಅಂದರೆ ದೃಶ್ಯ ಪ್ರಪಂಚ, ಈ ಪ್ರಪಂಚ ಇವೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಸತ್ಯ 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 ಅಂತ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಖವನ್ನ ಅರಸ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾನೋ, ನಶ್ಯೇ ಆತ ನಾಶವಾಗ್ತಾನೆ. ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆತ ಅಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರವೇಶವನ್ನೇ ಪಡೆಯೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಸಂಸಾರದಲ್ಲೇ ಮುಳುಗಿರ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಈ ಬಂಧನದಲ್ಲೇ ಮುಳುಗಿರ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಸಂಸಾರ ನಿತ್ಯ ಅನ್ನೋನಿಗೆ ಬಂಧನ ತಪ್ಪಿದ್ದಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಶ್ಲೋಕ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ is making it so clear. He says satyabhisandhanarata vimuktah. He is making it very clear. Who is satyabhisandhanarata? The one who is intensely established in truth. Abhisandhana, Satya. The one who is always interested in knowing the truth. One who wants to be established in the absolute truth. The absolute itself. He is Satyabhisandhanarataha. So he is the one who is established in the truth ultimately becomes liberated. He escapes the cycle of birth and death. So no more rebirth will occur to him. This will be the last birth. And he has already established in the truth itself. He has experienced the truth, the absolute truth. What is that? I am that only. I am that Atma Swarupa, which is eternal, which has no beginning, which has no end, which is totally immortal. It remains as it is. It is beyond time, space, continuum. It's beyond everything what you can imagine. So it always eternal remains as it is in its own Swarupa Sthiti. I am that Atma Swarupa. So a person who understands, experiences by the grace of God, or say by the grace of Sadguru, by the grace of a Brahmajnani Guru, if any disciple, any mumukshu experiences this truth, if he is established in this truth, he becomes liberated, vimukta, he becomes liberated. He attains Atman itself. He becomes Atma Swarupa himself. He is beyond the clutches of death and birth cycle. He escapes, in other words, the bondage of samsara. No more samsara will affect him. No more maya will affect him, even though his body is still living in the samsara by the maya. As long as the prarabdha of the body is there, ayushya of the body is there, that is prarabdha of the body will continue to live in the samsara and function. But he is no more attached to the body-mind complex. He has dissociated internally from this false identity. He has escaped this negligence, pramada. Whereas the one who is addicted to the falsehood, thinking that the life is real, the world is real, you are real, I am so and so, I have a family. So only in this, till the last breath, if the person believes the world to be really real and is always searching happiness outside his own self, searching happiness in the world, always immersed in making more and more money, thinking that the money will bring happiness. Everything is, see, for every panacea, the money is the ultimate final answer. So if that is the case, so he is known as Mithyabhisandhanarataha according to Acharya. So he is believing the world to be real. This world is real. I am real. So he is identified himself with the body-mind complex. I am so and so. I am this personality. I have a status, name, and I have a job. I have a family. I have to do so many things. All these feelings are totally there. So they bind him to samsara, this world. Samsara means the cycle of birth and death. So such a person who is addicted to this falsehood mithya called samsara, which is unreal, now he perishes. Mithyabhisandhanarataha tu nashyet. Nashyet, Acharya. He will perish. He'll be destroyed. Nashyet, perishes means there is no more illumination, no more spiritual upliftment. He remains in the life. He remains in the world, totally immersed in all his activities, and one fine day he will die. After death, again, according to the karma accumulated, done in all the previous births and also in this birth, so they will decide for his next future rebirth where he has to be born. So he remains in samsara, means in this cycle of birth and death. So that is what Acharya says. So drushtam tadetat achora chora yoho. So this is an ample example he gives. This can be seen in case of a thief and a normal person. Achora, a normal person who is not a thief. Chora, a thief. So there is always a difference between a normal person who law-abiding citizen. Achora. Chora means law-breaking thief. So there is always a difference between law-abiding citizen and a thief. So that is seen, the difference. So like that, Mityabhisandhanartha will perish. Satyabhisandhanartha will become vimukta, liberated. The next shloka here. Yatirasad anusandhim bandhahetum vihaya swayam ayam ahamasmiti atmadrushtyeva tishthet sukhayati nano nishtha brahmani swanubhutya harati paramavidya karya dukkham pratitam. Yati asad anusandhim bandhahetum vihaya swayam ayam ahamasmiti atmadrushtyeva tishthet sukhayati nanu nishtha brahmani swanubhutya harati param avidya karya dukkham pratitam. ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ? ಯತಿಹಿ means the one who is a constantly striving for liberation, one who is a mananashila, one who is a muni. Yati also means sannyasi. Yati also means sannyasi. So yati here means really the one who is striving sincerely for liberation, for emancipation, to know the reality. Who am I? So the one who is striving hard to know the reality is also called yati. So ಈ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನಶೀಲನಾದವನು ಬಂಧನಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣವಾದಂಥ ಅಸತ್ ವಸ್ತುವನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಈ ಅಸತ್ ಇದು ಯಾವುದು ನಾನಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಅನಾತ್ಮ ವಸ್ತುಗಳಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಆಸೆಗಳನ್ನ ತೆಗೆದುಹಾಕಿ ಇದೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇದು ಯಾವುದು ನಾನಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ನಾನು ಈ ದೇಹ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ನಾನು ಅನ್ನೋ ಅಹಂಕಾರವೂ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಚಿತ್ತವೂ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಯಾವುದೂ ಅಲ್ಲ ನಾನು. ಇದು ಬಂಧನಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣವಾಗಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಅನಾತ್ಮ ವಸ್ತುಗಳಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಬುದ್ಧಿಯನ್ನು ಬಿಡೋದು. ಅದನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾನೇ ಇವನಾಗಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವವನ್ನು ಬಲವಾಗಿ ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು, ನಾನೇ ಇವನಾಗಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಆತ್ಮವಸ್ತುವೇ ನಾನಾಗಿದ್ದೇನೆ, ಆ ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ತತ್ವವೇ ನಾನಾಗಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವವನ್ನು ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಆತ್ಮದೃಷ್ಟಿಯನ್ನು ಬೆಳೆಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಯಾರು ಸ್ವಯಂ ಸ್ವಪ್ರಯತ್ನದಿಂದ ಅನಾತ್ಮ ವಸ್ತುವಿನಲ್ಲಿ ತಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಸನ್ನ ತೊಡಗಿಸದೆ ಆತ್ಮದೃಷ್ಟಿಯನ್ನೇ ಬೆಳೆಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಆತ್ಮನಲ್ಲಿಯೇ ನಿಲ್ಲಬೇಕು, ಆ ಆತ್ಮಾನುಭಾವದಿಂದ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮನಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಷ್ಠೆಯನ್ನ ಹೊಂದುತ್ತಾ ಹೋದರೆ ಅದು ಸುಖಕರವಾಗಿರುತ್ತದೆ ಮತ್ತು ಆತ್ಯಂತಿಕವಾಗಿ ಈ ಅವಿದ್ಯೆಯ ಮೂಲಕ, ಮಾಯೆಯ ಮೂಲಕ ಬಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಈ ದುಃಖ, ಸಂಸಾರ ದುಃಖವನ್ನು ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗಲಾಡಿಸುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. So giving up all the thoughts about asat, that is unreal. The whole world, the universe, the cosmos, living, non-living things, the five elements, and also this body, this mind, this buddhi, this intellect, and this ego. I am this, I am so and so, this ego factor. And chitta, the memory banks in the mind. I am not all these things. I am nothing of these things. So giving up all thoughts about the asat, unreal, which is there today, it will go away tomorrow. And steadfastly contemplating towards the reality, towards Atman only, steadfastly, and that results in Brahmanishta, Atmanishta. So to remain in the original Swarupa, Atma Swarupa, results in Brahmanishta. And that results in real bliss, the real sukha, the real happiness. The word happiness in Vedanta doesn't connote the reality at all. The word bliss, which is always eternal, unchanging, totally full. So it results in bliss. Atmanishta or Brahmanishta results in the bliss internally, and that results in self-realization. Sukayati nanonishta brahmani swanubhutya harati param avidya karya dukkham pratita. So all the misery, suffering due to avidya, due to maya, due to ignorance, everything will be totally gone. The misery, suffering, once for all goes away. The mind becomes purer. Prashanta manas. Prasanna chitta. So that results in ultimately, again, by the grace of Guru or God, the realization, emancipation, salvation. Bahyanusandhihi parivardhayet palham durvasanameva tatasthatodhikam jnatva vivekaihi parihritya bahyam swatmanusandhim vididhita nityam vidadhita nityam. An injection Acharya is giving here to the disciple in the last charana of the shloka. Swatmanusandhim nityam vidadhita. Nityam vidadhita swatmanusandhim. That is the injunction, an order, a specific upadesha to the disciple, to the mumuksha. So this in the shloka Acharya says, Bahyanusandhihi parivardhayet phalam durvasanameva tatasthatodhikam. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು? ವಿಷಯಗಳ ಚಿಂತನೆ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಲ್ಲಿ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಹೊರಮುಖವಾಗಿ ಸುಖದ ಕಲ್ಪನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಬೇಕು ಅದು ಬೇಕು, ನಾನು ಇದನ್ನು ಪಡಿಬೇಕು ಹೊಂದಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಆಸೆಗಳನ್ನ ಬಯಕೆಗಳನ್ನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ನನಗೆ ಸುಖ ಬೇಕು, ನನಗೆ ಆನಂದ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅದರ ಹಿಂದೆ ಹೊಸ ಹೊಸ ಬಯಕೆಗಳ ಆಸೆಗಳ ಹಿಂದೆ, ಅವುಗಳ ಪೂರೈಕೆ ಹಿಂದೆ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಓಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಆ ವಿಷಯ ಚಿಂತನೆ ಅದು ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗ್ತಾ 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 ಮನಸ್ಸು ಮಲಿನಯುಕ್ತವಾಗುತ್ತದೆ, ಮಲಿನ ವಾಸನಯುಕ್ತವಾಗುತ್ತದೆ, ತಾಮಸಿಕವಾಗುತ್ತದೆ, ಮಲಿನ ಸಂಸ್ಕಾರಗಳು ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತವೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವಾಸನೆಗಳು ವೃದ್ಧಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ಬಯಕೆಗಳು ವೃದ್ಧಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ವಿಷಯ ಚಿಂತನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹಿಂದೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ವಿಷಯ ಚಿಂತನೆಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದ ಬಗ್ಗೆನೇ ಮನಸ್ಸಿದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ವಾಸನೆಗಳು ಬಲವಾಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ವೃದ್ಧಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಬೇಕು, ಇದನ್ನು ಪಡಿಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ವಾಸನೆ ಪುಂಖಾನುಪುಂಖವಾಗಿ ಬೆಳೀತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ. ಅದರಿಂದ ನಾವು ತಕ್ಕಂತ ಕರ್ಮಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ವಾಸನೆಯ ಫಲವನ್ನೇ ಬೆಳೆಸುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ವಿಷಯ ಚಿಂತನೆ. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ಯತಿ ಆದವನು, ಮುಮುಕ್ಷು ಆದವನು, ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನನ್ನು ಅರ್ಥಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ಇಚ್ಛೆ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥವನು, ಭಗವತ್ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಮನಸ್ಸಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಾಧನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಯತಿ, ಮುನಿ, ಜಿಜ್ಞಾಸು, ಮುಮುಕ್ಷು ಇದನ್ನು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ವಿವೇಚನೆಯಿಂದ, ವಿವೇಕದಿಂದ ವಿಷಯ ಚಿಂತನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಆತ್ಮಚಿಂತನೆಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರಬೇಕು. ವಿಷಯನಿಷ್ಠನಾಗಿರೋದನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಆತ್ಮನಿಷ್ಠನಾಗಿರಬೇಕು. ನಾನು ಆತ್ಮಸ್ವರೂಪನಾಗಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಈ ಭಾವದಲ್ಲಿ ಆತ್ಮನಿಷ್ಠನಾಗೇ ಇರೋದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಆತ್ಮನ ಬಗ್ಗೆಯೇ ಚಿಂತನೆ, ಅನುಗಾಲ ಆತ್ಮನ ಬಗ್ಗೆಯೇ ಚಿಂತನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ. ಸೊ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಟು ದ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟರ್ನಲ್ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟರ್ನಲ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್, possessing so many things, thinking that they will give me happiness, trying to earn more money, thinking that the money will bring me more happiness. All that I can buy with all the money I have in the life. Anything I want, the pleasurable thing I can buy with the help of the money. So thinking about always the world, external objects, about money, it leads to more and more miseries and also evil vasanas. The more I think about pleasurable things, the more I think about world, possessing so many things, my vasanas also will increase. Evil vasanas will increase. Hence, Acharya says, the wise man, a mumukshu, should avoid thinking of such external objects, sensuous objects. Vishaya means about world, about possession, so many things. So he must avoid thinking of all such external objects, Vishaya Vasana, that tendencies, that feeling that I should possess this and I should possess that, that will help me to be happy in the life. And he must always attempt himself to be in his original Atma Swarupa and engage in the contemplation of Atma. Always he should engage himself in nididhyasana, manana, nididhyasana, contemplation, reflection about Atman. I am that Atma Swarupa. All the mind going towards externals will not fetch me anything more. The more I think, the more I become unhappy. So I am not this body and mind at all. When that is the case, why I should think about the world, worldly pleasures, worldly objects, thinking that they will bring me happiness? Let me concentrate on my own reality first. Let me understand. Let me know first-hand by experience. Let me be aware truly about the absolute nature of Parabrahma Vastu or Atma Swarupa. As the Shrutis declare, Upanishads declare, I am that Atma Swarupa. So I should abide by in that, always abide in that state, not giving importance to worldly things. If the mind goes towards worldly things, more and more vasanas will increase, and more vasanas will also increase in more and more actions, activities from my side. My body and mind, with the Sharira Vimana, always I get immersed in all types of activities in order to make myself happy. Why? Because I am confining myself to the body-mind complex. I have developed Sharira Vimana. Thinking about worldly objects, I am totally with Sharira Abhimana. I am this body. So with being a Sharira Abhimani, I can never think of spiritual development at all. To be a spiritual aspirant, the first thing is this: I am the body. This feeling should go. The first requisite, the feeling should go constantly. It is not easy. We should strive by the grace of the Guru. That is called manana. That is called nididhyasa. That is called meditation. Whatever names are given. The mind always should gear up. See, spirituality is not, as our Gurudev used to tell me very often in Ekanta. Spirituality, spiritual practice, sadhana as it's called, is not a part-time job. Our Gurudev used to tell. It is not a part-time job. Nowadays in the Kali Yuga, age of Kali, our Guru used to tell, in this age of Kali, in this age of Tamas, in this 21st century, people are more attached to worldly sensuous pleasures, thinking that they are the body, thinking that they are the body-mind. They are more attached. And here and there, some of them, by chance in this birth, somehow try to become spiritual. Accidentally, by reading some books on spirituality or meeting one of their friends with an experience of spirituality, the friend will discuss and he is influenced by the friend like that. So accidentally, they enter into the path of spirituality. Our Gurudev used to tell. Accidentally, they enter the path of spirituality. And by their good luck in this birth, even there is a possibility they will meet a real great Mahapurusha in their lifetime. There is a possibility they will come in contact with a Mahajnani, Mahapurusha, Parama Purushottama, Parama Santa Purusha in this life. And they feel so elated and so happy. And they will go on telling everyone that now he has seen a great Mahatman. He has met a great Mahatman, and the great Mahatman has blessed him. He has looked up at him. So he feels elated. His ego further bloats, expands. Why? Our Gurudev used to say. He thinks that he is really blessed compared to other members of his kith and kins or family or friend circle or the colleagues in which wherever he works, his colleagues, whatever it is, or his known circle. Compared to all, he is highly blessed. And he boasts of that now he is a company of a holy man, a real holy man. And the boasting will continue. And then what happens? Then the prarabdha, if it is very strong in this birth, he will get stuck only at that level. Our Gurudev used to say. If his prarabdha is very strong for the attachment to the world, he will be stuck at the same place without further going deeper into the spiritual sadhana. So once in a way, maybe once in a month or once in 2 months or once in 3 months, the personality will go to the holy man, fall at his feet, and then feels highly elated by the Upadesha and comes back. The moment he comes back, he will forget about that. He is busy in his own life as he was earlier, doing all the karmas and actions as usual, fully immersed in the worldly life. So at times, suddenly he will remember, then he will rush back to the holy man, falls at his feet, gets himself a sort of a solace, and then comes back. I have seen plenty of sadhakas doing like that. In fact, one of the spiritual aspirants, I remember him so well that he keeps telling me that he will try to visit our Gurudev's abode, Hamsashramam, at least once in 15 days, at least once in 10 days, at least once in a month, so that his spiritual battery is recharged. See, that is the statement. To recharge my spiritual battery, I have to visit Gurudev's abode. So there ends the matter. There ends the matter. So the moment you recharge it, if you use the word, it means that it will drain off the moment you come back home and then get used to your own life. So all the while you are busy earning, all the while you are busy in taking life as a real, totally immersed in making more money, making more money, making more money, totally immersed. And what fun is there if you say that I visit a great holy man once in a month and I feel satisfied? It won't help. Spirituality is not like that. That's what Acharya is hinting. It should be a real time affair all the time. Spirituality cannot be part time. Spirituality should be full time. That is what our Gurudev used to tell. Unless it is full time, the Guru's grace will not fall. See the point. All Mahatmans, they say the same thing. Maybe in the clear cut terms they may not say. Only to one or two they may say. How the Guru's grace, Kripa Drishti, will fall. Only the Sadguru knows who is entitled for the Kripa or the grace in this birth among so many disciples. Only the ones who have ripened themselves by all the good karmas and the sadhanas, umpteen number of sadhanas done in their previous birth, in this birth, the Guru will pick them and see that they are completely elated and they are elevated and they complete the sadhana in this birth. Only Sadguru knows. We don't know. We don't know. So, that is exactly. So, Acharya says here, Jnatva vivekaihi parihritya bahyam swatmanusandhim vidadhita nityam. So, look, my dear disciple, knowingly well with the help of Viveka, discrimination, parihritya bahyam, don't yourself get attached, don't yourself get attracted to the worldly affairs. Bahyam means worldly affairs. No too much attachment. Don't get yourself too much attached to the worldly affairs. Jatma vivekaihi parihritya bahyam swatmanusandhim vidadhita nityam. Swatmanusandhim vidadhita nityam. Nityam vidadhita swatmanusandhim. So always, my dear disciple, look, avoid thinking of the externals, thinking about the world all the time. Avoid that. Always rest yourself in your Atma Swarupa. Always think that you are Atma Swarupa. Always think that you are Brahma Swarupa. You are no more body, mind complex. And you remain in that state. Always dwell on the truth. That is Nididhyasana. Always contemplate on the truth. What is the truth? You are no more the body. You are no more the mind. You are no more the ego, ahankar. I am so and so. So you don't have any status. You are actually nobody. But you are Purna. You are everything. So erase your individual identity and encompass your real nature, which is all inclusive, Sarvatma Bhava. Everywhere only this Atma is pervaded. This Atma is. I am there everywhere. I am that I am. I am that I am. So this feeling should come. ಸೊ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ವಿಷಯ ಚಿಂತನೆಯನ್ನ ತೊರೆದು ಆತ್ಮಚಿಂತನೆಯನ್ನು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಬೆಳೆಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಉಪದೇಶ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಶಿಷ್ಯನು. ಸೊ ಇದು ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಶ್ಲೋಕ ನಾವು ಲಾಜಿಕಲಿ ಹಿ ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ಅಪ್ ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಇನ್ ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಶ್ಲೋಕ. ಬಾಹ್ಯೇ ನಿರುದ್ಧೇ ಮನಸ ಪ್ರಸನ್ನತಾ ಮನಃಪ್ರಸಾದೇ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ದರ್ಶನಂ. Second charana is very important. Key phrase. ಬಾಹ್ಯೇ ನಿರುದ್ಧೇ ಮನಸ ಪ್ರಸನ್ನತಾ ಮನಃಪ್ರಸಾದೇ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ದರ್ಶನಂ. ತಸ್ಮಿನ್ ಸುದೃಷ್ಟೇ ಭವಬಂಧನಾಶೋ ಬಹಿರ್ನಿರೋಧ ಪದವೀ ವಿಮುಕ್ತೆ. ತಸ್ಮಿನ್ ಸುದೃಷ್ಟೇ ಭವಬಂಧನಾಶೋ ಬಹಿರ್ನಿರೋಧ ಪದವೀ ವಿಮುಕ್ತೆ. ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಹಿಂದೆ ಹೇಳಿದ ಭಾವವನ್ನ ಪುಷ್ಟೀಕರಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. ತಥ್ಯವನ್ನ, ನಿಜವಾದ ಸತ್ಯವನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯಾರಿಗೆ? ಶಿಷ್ಯನಿಗೆ, ಮುಮುಕ್ಷು ಉತ್ತಮ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿಯಾದ ಶಿಷ್ಯನಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ನೋಡಪ್ಪ ಶಿಷ್ಯ, ಬಾಹ್ಯೇ ನಿರುದ್ಧೇ ಮನಸ ಪ್ರಸನ್ನತ ಮನಃಪ್ರಸಾದೇ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ದರ್ಶನಂ. ಬಹಳ ಸುಲಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ರು ಆಚಾರ್ಯ. ಈ ವಿಷಯ ಚಿಂತನೆಗಳನ್ನ, ಮನಸ್ಸು ಹೊರಮುಖವಾಗಿ ಓಡೋದನ್ನ, ಜಗತ್ತಿನ ಕಡೆ, ಪ್ರಪಂಚದ ಕಡೆ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡೋದನ್ನ ಬಿಟ್ಟಷ್ಟು, ಅದನ್ನ ಹಿಡಿದಷ್ಟು, ಬಿಗಿಯಾಗಿ ಹಿಡಿದಷ್ಟು ಮನಸ್ಸಿನ ಪ್ರಸನ್ನತೆ ಉಂಟಾಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಮನಸ್ಸು ಪ್ರಸನ್ನವಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೇನು? ಮನಸ್ಸು ಶಾಂತವಾಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯೋಚನಾ ಅಲೆಗಳು ಮನಸ್ಸನ್ನು ಪೀಡಿಸೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ವಿಷಯ ಸುಖಗಳ ಚಿಂತನೆ ನಿಂತಷ್ಟು ಮನಸ್ಸು ಪ್ರಶಾಂತವಾಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ಗಂಭೀರವಾಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತದೆ, ಪ್ರಸನ್ನವಾಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಅಂತಹ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಪ್ರಸನ್ನವಾಗ್ತಾ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಪ್ರಶಾಂತ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಬಂದಾಗ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಸುಮುಹೂರ್ತದಲ್ಲಿ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನ ದರ್ಶನ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನ ಕೃಪೆಯಿಂದ, ಆತ್ಮನ ಕೃಪೆಯಿಂದ ಆತ್ಮದರ್ಶನ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಸ್ವಯಂ ಆತ್ಮಜ್ಯೋತಿಯಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನ ಕೃಪೆಯಿಂದ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನ ದರ್ಶನ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಆಗ ಆ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರ ಆದರೆ, ಆತ್ಮ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರ ಆದರೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ನಾವು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಅರ್ಥಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ, ಆ ನೇರವಾದ ಅನುಭವ ನಾನು ಯಾರು ಅಂತ ಬಂದರೆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರ, ಆತ್ಮ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರ, ಭಗವದ್ ದರ್ಶನ, ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ದರ್ಶನ, ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಶಬ್ದಗಳು ಅದನ್ನೇ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ರೀತಿಯ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರದ ಪ್ರಭಾವದಿಂದ ಸಂಸಾರ ಬಂಧನ ನಿರ್ಮೂಲನ ಆಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಬಹಿರ್ನಿರೋಧ ಪದವಿ ವಿಮುಕ್ತಿ ತಸ್ಮಿನ್ ಸುದೃಷ್ಟೇ ಭವಬಂಧನಾಶ. ಈ ಸಂಸಾರ ಬಂಧನವೇ ಕಳ್ಚೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸಂಸಾರ ಬಂಧನ ಕಳ್ಚೋಗೋದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ನಾನು ಇಂಥವನಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಇಂಥ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಅಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಇಂಥವನಲ್ವೇ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಯಾರು ನಾನು? ನಾನು ಸ್ವಯಂ ಜ್ಯೋತಿಷ್ ಸ್ವರೂಪನಾದ, ಸರ್ವತ್ರ ಸರ್ವದಾ ಸದಾ ಕಾಲ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ, ಅಜವು ಅಮರನು ಅಸಂಗನು ನಿಷ್ಕ್ರಿಯನೂ ಆಗಿರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ, ನಿರಂಜನ ನಿಷ್ಕಲನಾಗಿರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ, ಅವಸ್ಥಾತ್ರಯ ಅತೀತನಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಕೇವಲ ಆತ್ಮಸ್ವರೂಪ. ಆ ಅರಿವು, ಚಿನ್ಮಾತ್ರ ಘನ ಅರಿವು ಆ ಅರಿವೇ ನಾನಾಗಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಅನುಭವಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೋದು, ಬಾಯಿ ಮಾತಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳೋದಲ್ಲ. ಗುರುಗಳು ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ರು, ಇದು ಬಾಯಿ ಮಾತಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳೋದಲ್ಲ. ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು, ತಲೆ ಅಲ್ಲಾಡಿಸೋದು, ಸ್ವಯಂ ಅನುಭವಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೋ ವಿಷಯ ಅದು. ಅದು ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನ ಕೃಪೆಯಿಂದನೇ ಆಗುವಂಥದ್ದು, ಆತ್ಮನ ಕೃಪೆಯಿಂದನೇ ಆತ್ಮದರ್ಶನ ಆಗುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಸುಮುಹೂರ್ತದಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಗುರುಪ್ರಸಾದದಿಂದ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಪ್ರಶಾಂತವಾದಾಗ, ಆ ಪ್ರಶಾಂತ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಆತ್ಮದರ್ಶನ, ಸ್ವಯಂ ಜ್ಯೋತಿ ಸ್ವರೂಪನಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಆತ್ಮ ಸ್ವರೂಪನೇ ನಾನು ಅನ್ನೋ ಅರಿವು ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಅರಿವು ಅದು ತಾನಾಗಿ ಉಂಟಾಗುವಂಥದ್ದು. ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ ರಾಜ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಶ್ಲೋಕ ವಾಟ್ ಹಿ ಸೇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಸೋ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ದಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟರ್ನಲ್ ಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ worldly objects, now external world itself, this materialistic world itself, all the sense objects, when the whole, our mind, our buddhi, our ears, our tongue, our eyes, all connected to the external world, when that is, this outer world, if it is controlled, if control means shama and dama. Remember earlier, sadhana, sampat, Sadhana Chatushtaya it comes. Controlling the senses, controlling the mind. Shama, controlling senses. Dama, controlling the mind. So, what Acharya says is, Bhashye niruddhe manasa prasannata manaprasade paramatma darshan. So, when the mind is controlled, when our senses are controlled, when my mind is not completely going towards external life, external world, objects, sensuous objects, feeling, I want to possess this, I want to have that, such ambitions, such mental afflictions, such desires, constant desires. So if that is controlled, our desires are controlled, our mind is controlled, our senses are controlled, sense organs are controlled, then what happens? The mind gradually becomes standstill, peaceful. Mind becomes gradually standstill means peaceful. Manasa prasannata. Bahye niruddhe. When external world is controlled, when the mind is controlled, when my sense organs are controlled, the mind becomes gradually standstill. Means it reaches a state of tranquility. It reaches a state of equilibrium. No more thoughts are generated. Too much of desires are not generated. Too much of ambitious desires are not generated. That is what is called manasa prasannata. So when that happens, when the mind is really peaceful, when it is still, in other words, then what happens? And then in that state of the mind, which is in the equanimous mode, Paramatma Darshana will occur, Bhagavad Sakshatkara will occur, Brahma Sakshatkara will occur by the grace of God Himself, by the grace of Atma Himself, by the grace of Self Himself. The Self will be relieved, revealed, not the Self will be revealed by the grace of Self itself. By the grace of Atma, Atma Darshana happens when the mind is totally prasanna chitta, prashanta manas. So then what happens? When that is, then that is what is called realization, emancipation. You escape from this world, this samsara cycle of birth and death. So this samsara itself vanishes. Vanishes not literally, vanishes means it goes away. No more you are bound to this world samsara. This will be the last birth. You are already liberated. While still living, you become a Jivan Mukta. And after death of the body, you become Videha Mukta. That's all, as Acharya said earlier. So, when you become realized, when the mind is at peace, realization happens. When you become realized of your true nature, what happens? Annihilation of samsara occurs. Hence, tasmin sudrushte bhavabandhanasho bahirnirodha padave vimukte. Hence, the control of external world, desires, control of your desires, control of your sense organs, control of the feelings of the mind should always be practiced. Try to control the feelings, try to put out the desires. Too many desires will spoil the show. Mind becomes totally turmoil. It can never be at peace. That is the point, Acharya. That is the point. In the next, Kapandita Sansad Viveki Shruti Pramana Paramarthadarshi Janan hi kuryat asato valambam swapata hetoh shishuvan mumukshuhu. Kapandita Sansad Viveki Shruti Pramana Paramarthadarshi Janan hi kuryat asato valambam ಸ್ವಪಾತ ಹೇತೋ ಶಿಶುವತ್ ಮುಮುಕ್ಷು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು? ಒಂದು ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಿಜವಾದ ಅರ್ಥದಲ್ಲಿ ಜ್ಞಾನಿ, ಬುಧ, ಪಂಡಿತ ಅಂತ ಯಾರನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಸಮದರ್ಶಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಅಂತಹ ಪಂಡಿತನಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥವನು, ವಿವೇಕಿಯಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥವನು, ಶ್ರುತಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಉಪನಿಷತ್ತುಗಳ ಪ್ರಮಾಣವನ್ನು ನಂಬಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥವನು, ಪರಮಾರ್ಥ ಸ್ವರೂಪವನ್ನು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೊರಟಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥವನು, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರದ ಹಾದಿಯಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಸದ್ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಯಾವ ಮುಮುಕ್ಷು ಇದ್ದಾನೋ ಆತ ತಿಳಿದು ತಿಳಿದು ಮಗುವಿನ ಹಾಗೆ, ಬಾಲಕನ ಹಾಗೆ ತನ್ನ ಪತನಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣವಾಗಬಹುದು ಅಸದ್ವಸ್ತುವನ್ನ ಹೇಗೆ ಆಶ್ರಯ ಪಡೀತಾನೆ. ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ದು ಈ ಅಸದ್ವಸ್ತು ಅನಿತ್ಯವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕ ಸಂಸಾರವೇ ನಿತ್ಯ ಅಂತ ಹೇಗೆ ನಂಬ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು ಶ್ಲೋಕದ ಅರ್ಥ. ಸೊ Acharya says, being a wise man, a Buddha, Samadarshi, Pandita, all these things refer to a really learned, a wise, a Vidvamsa. So being a really learned and wise and able to discriminate between the real and unreal. What is Atma and what is Anatma? What is real and unreal? So if he is able to discriminate by his Viveka, by reasoning, understanding and believing 100% in Upanishad Pramana, believing that Shruti, Upanishads are Swayam Pramana, and all that Upanishads say, they are proof themselves. So believing in Upanishads, Upanishad Pramana, and trying to seek or is seeking liberation, mukti, how can such a mumukshu behave like a child, a young boy of not much development brain power? How can he behave like a child in believing and depending on this unreal world? That is the example. So a mumukshu will not depend on unreality. He knows that the world is unreal in paramarthic sense. This world is fleeting. It is there today, it will go tomorrow. So in the paramarthic sense, the world is unreal. It is not eternal. It won't remain in the same way. It goes on transforming, changing, and one day it will vanish. Like that, the body also. It goes on transforming from the young embryo in the mother's womb. Then a baby comes out. The baby grows into a young boy or a girl. The young boy or a girl again grows into a young man or a young woman with youthful energy, and that youthful person later he enters into middle age and he becomes a middle-aged person, and then slowly he will enter into old age and he becomes an old person and a haggard person, very weak, and finally he gets stuck to the bed. Too much ripe old age person. See the difference. Even the body is changing and one day he will die. Even the body is transforming. So nothing is permanent. So the world is also not permanent. So that is how. So once it is known correctly. So being a wise, being a learned one, such a mumukshu striving for liberation will not consider the unreal as real. He will not consider the world as real. He will not consider himself as a body anymore. He will not consider he is a mind himself anymore. No. So he knows that he will consider that he is no more the body-mind complex. He will not give importance to the worldly affairs much. He is not going after worldly sensuous pleasures. He will not yield to any of the desires sprouting once in a way in the mind. He will keep quiet, control the mind, control the senses. He will control the desires. So that is a point Acharya is saying here. So with this Guru Sankalpa, this is the time or shloka number 335. We are stopping today. 335 shloka number, according to the book which I am following. Sri Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Sri Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Sri Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Sri Rama Jaya Rama Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Namah Bhagavate Virajeshwara.
Hari Om, sir.
Hari
Thank you
Om.
so much for the divine words.
Thank you.
Really, really enlightening. Hari Om, sir.
Thank you.